Okay, so for this final section here, I'm just going to be doing kind of almost a little bit of cosmetic stuff for it. When I say cosmetic, I don't mean adding, like making the visuals nicer. I just mean some kind of extra cool kind of features that you could add to kind of enhance the game, if you like, past the version that is actually online. So the first one is adding a bit of screen shake. So for that, I need to go to Scene, to View, and click and drag out this chunk of code here. And within this, I'm going to add some, oh, whoops, not here. Under active type, I'm going to add some very subtle screen shake. Not enough that it gets obnoxious and annoying. When it comes to this stuff, it's a matter of keeping it in very small amounts, just to kind of give it a little bit of feedback, but not so much that it annoys the player. So I'm going to make it a little less if it's a hit that's blocked. But if it isn't blocked, I'm going to make that a larger number. I could do something like using the amount of health removed as an indicator of the shake, but I think that might be a little bit too much. So I'm just going to quickly apply that to the opponent, and then we can give that a quick go and see how that looks. And then other than that, I've noticed that it is kind of, it's really easy to be able to just, let me quickly check the timings of that. It's really easy to kind of just spam and take out your opponent, so I wanted to add like a little bit of extra strategy to it. So what I've also added is under, well, either of the hitboxes. It could either be one or the other, but basically if the first hitbox hits the second hitbox at the same time, kill each other's hitboxes. And that way you can't just spam. It requires a little bit more timing to find a window of time to hit your opponent. And yeah, other than that, I mean, you could add all sorts of kind of cool things. So for example, you could, you know, and this is entirely up to you to see if you can manage this yourself, but if you know, you could make it that if you block an attack that it deflects back, or you could do things like so you can see that they're getting cancelled out in the middle rather than flying past each other and hitting one another, but there's still some hits getting through. And you can see that subtle bit of screen shake kicking in there. Yep. The only thing I'm also going to add is when both of these collide with one another, to increase that level of screen shake. So make it essentially, let me try 7 or 8. Oh, that would explain why. So 5. Okay. Yeah, I set the values incorrectly for each. And so yeah, the only other thing that you could do from here, for example, might be that you, if down is held, you could do something like make it so it deflects backwards with the speed that it had before, except in the opposite direction. And then for that you'd need to flip its direction. I'm not going to go too deeply into it. If you want to experiment with this, it's up to you. I'm just going to kind of mock it up at a very basic level, just so you can see what this might look like. It might look pretty awesome, actually. and I may add this to the full version if I don't already have enough to be getting on with, which I already do. So I might come back to this at some point. But essentially the way you would do this is you would create a variable within your hitbox, a private variable that would check to see if it was converted or was, let me see. So my fists are up. Oh, wrong way around. Can you see that it's been deflected back? Now, obviously, this would still need a lot of tweaking. In particular, because it's not actually twisting fast enough. But yeah, that's up to you to experiment further with it. But for now, this is where this tutorial ends. I'll quickly just show you the result from what I've created with this new feature added. And then other than that, yeah, it's up to you to keep tinkering with it and carry on with your projects. So hopefully you found this useful. I'll just quickly show you. Now you can see the issue here is that because because it's not dying, because the hitbox isn't dying anymore. It's exclusive to if it's not blocking. It's actually reducing more health off because it's constantly, it's colliding more than once with the boxer. Whilst if it dies immediately, then it removes it from the scene, and the character isn't hurt any more than it needs to be. But anyway, so that pretty much ends this tutorial. Sorry if it got a bit waffly at the end of it, but I figured that might be something that you might be interested in. And yeah, check back for some more videos on different stuff in the future. I'm going to be finishing up the top-down shooter tutorial and doing a fireworks-based tutorial on which is going to go through the difference between public and private variables, along with creating a basic firework counter, because I know quite a few people kind of require a bit of extra time to get their heads around variables. Yeah, so check back soon.